hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance to spit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty, joined by Colin and John. We're just continuing the recording from earlier on, so I'm not going to ask you how you are again, but I will give you a wee warning that this next question, even by Shortbanger standards, is quite full on. Let me just put some time on the clock. Right, 25 minutes, right? Just Ken. Neil's tweeted and said, would you consider felching your partner if it meant Hibs would win the league? Right. John, do you know what that is?
If I remember rightly, is it not is it not sucking the cum out of your partner's anus?
Yep. So Neil handily put a photo of the definition. Felch. What does felch mean?
Definition? What the fuck is the definition?
Felching
I was about to look on Twitter.
Felching is the sexual act of licking or sucking semen out of a partner's anus. So would you consider it if it meant Hibs would win the league? I think I'm not committed to Hibs winning the league. I'm a big Hibs fan, but I'm no
bedwetting bastard. I'd be right in there.
Well, I can you with David. Fucking we'll say no more about that, but
it's a question, consider it or do it.
Well, I should consider it is a question.
Consider it.
Yeah, that's true. If it was just considering it, then yes. If the actual act to do with it, I would probably be like.
So you'd give yourself a blowjob?
I never said I would do that either. I just said, would you ask the question? Or I never said I would. And then we went on to, okay, what would your excuse be? Right, fattest prickest. We'll move on for that one anyway.
That's what. Can I just say that that was one of my mates said years and years ago, right? And everybody's like, that's not even a word. Like talking 15, longer ago, 20 years ago. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's like, we were just saying that came up in a group chat yesterday, that word. And I didn't realise why. Because he's obviously seen it on there. But I messaged my mate last night about it to say, was that you that used to say that? And he said it was. He got taught about it when he was working as a trainee mechanic. He also says it goes along with an act. I'm just reading it out now. With an act that involves your partner shitting onto cling film that you wear on your face. But I don't know. I can't remember what the name of that is.
Can you Google it?
So, what do you mean? Do you wear it? Is it inside out? Like, is the jobby against your face, or is it on the outside?
It just says partner shitting onto cling film that you wear on your face. I assume you put the cling. I don't know. You put the cling film over you.
How do you breach that? Can you broach that subject with your partner to say, right, I'm going to mix things up a bit. Got to cling film. I need you to have either laxative or some Weetabix or something. And we'll wait a wee bit. And when you're ready, just give me a shout. I'll put it over my face.
Plenty fibre before you come over on Saturday.
Aye. You and you crouch down. I was like, what?
Trust me.
Right. So, if you're asking, assuming you said this is right, and that's what I want you to do, what reaction are you expecting? But I suppose even worse if it's the other way around, where it's like, I'm coming home tonight, and what I want you to do is put some cling film over your face, so I'm going to shite at it. And who's saying yes to that? Oh, that sounds like it'll be a good night. And then once you've done that, can you nah. Right. We'll move on. Right. Fattest prickest. In a meeting or a Zoom meeting, have you ever pictured anyone else naked, and has anyone pictured you naked?
Oh, do this every week. So
some of the mail that we get, honestly.
I'm naked right now, Colin.
Oh no, I'm not meaning this. I'm meaning. But I'm sure I've been pictured naked. Aye, no doubt about it.
I mean, you can tell when folk are undressing you with their eyes, eh? Like your mind, you try to make a serious point in a business meeting, and you think, yeah, you're filthy. You're picturing me naked right now. We used to do a thing in meetings when we were in person. Like if it was me, like one of my mates, that you would see if you could subtly up your nipple, and the meat just during it, and you try to catch their eye. Do you know, like when you're doing it, or things like that. Like if you would, if they were sitting opposite, can you get them like obviously get them a wee kick or something like that? But the wee touch the nipple. We do that. The things you do to amuse yourself. Right, Dorlessa said, or it was going on about the follow-up question to the which player would you get his autograph for the player that was with your missus? Autograph and a photo, probably. A quick selfie before you go.
Put your place on.
I was thinking like you maybe like jump into bed between the pair of them, just get like a sort of arms around the both, like you and your player, selfie.
Had the camera the wife and I get a photo.
It's me in this bit. Look at us, we look alike.
TG Willis says, does anyone else have problems taking off skinny jeans? So I don't have skinny jeans. Like I can't imagine myself trying to get into
We saw that, didn't we, on Hibs?
The
opposite of skinny jeans.
I struggle getting into the big jeans, never mind fucking skinny ones. Like, so I can't imagine trying to take them off.
I find it strange when you get people people above a certain waist size who like they make skinny jeans for people of ample arses and legs. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Aye, like or even me, like as much as I've lost a wee bit of weight or whatever, I'd still never get into skinny jeans because I'm not, Johnny Ramone. Like that's who skinny jeans are reserved for, like your sort of hair rockers, your punk rockers, all that sort of stuff.
Aye,
or at least to me anyway.
It's not a trend that I ever kind of took to the skinny jeans. I've never seen anybody wearing skinny jeans and I thought that's a good look. That no offense if folk who wear them, just I kind that's fashion and everything. And when you're older, fashion becomes less important, but or you're less relevant, I suppose. Not so much important, but I think that's the thing. Jeans where you think you have to jump off the wardrobe to get into them. And I can't imagine trying to take them off. Imagine fucking wet skinny jeans. Would you just roll them down or?
But was that?
Well, I've got jeans that. Sorry.
I was just going to say, was that not? I remember watching Quadrophenia. Was that not a trend back in the 70s for the mods to like their jeans were to be really tight and to wear them like put them on wet? So
put them on wet so the shrunk fit.
Aye,
he does do that.
Wear them in the bath or something.
Aye,
because Boone, that was his dad. In Quadrophenia, Boone, Michael Elphick. He was calling him an idiot for doing it. He was sitting wearing his wet jeans. Phil Daniels from off of Park Life. It's a good film, Quadrophenia. We watched it for a while. Right. You say you got skinny jeans, Colin?
No, I've not got skinny jeans. I've got jeans that aren't as baggy as yours. But I just take them off and they just come off inside. Like you take them off and they're inside out. You know what I mean? Because you can't just drop them to the floor like your ones can. So you just take them down and almost roll them. No, roll them out, but because they're no skin tight. But inside out, that's how they come off.
I understand that they're fashionable, and I've never been one that follows fashion. Usually, I'm just like jeans, t-shirt, comfort all the time. Quite scruffy. The one thing that puts me off about skinny jeans in particular is that they didn't look comfortable at all.
I just didn't see the win in skinny jeans at all. I just didn't see what the benefit of them is. So I would ban them. Mel Clement said, should the TV volume always be on an even number? And are there any other acceptable numbers, e.g. 7, 15, 21, etc.? So what he used has got, was it you, Colin, that's got to think with the TV volume?
Yeah.
What's your thing, Colin?
Before, Even number. I do even.
So I like even numbers, but also I think it's multiples of 5. So 4, 8, 10, 12, but 15 is acceptable. Even like 15 feels even.
See, I didn't like the number 15 since 2012. I'd never go near it in anything, just in case it's linked in any way. Do
you know what? That's probably going to put me off because I am so susceptible to peer pressure. That's it. 15 is banned for the volume in this house.
I said never that. Asked if we the marks at 15 in. If we just ruined that, if we're going to have to stop this now for you, Colin?
No, I do even number. I just didn't touch 15. Oh, the answer 15. Oh, I'm
Aye.
sorry. No, well, I never thought of it like that.
I always thought because after 16 it kind of kiboshed. I wasn't bothered about 2015 anymore. 2015, 2012. That's how much I give a fuck about. Can't remember what year it happened. I don't care for the TV volume. I just get it to where it sounds all right, and if it's an odd number or an even number, I wouldn't care. My daughter in the car, when you turn the volume up in the car, it goes with wee blocks, but it does like part blocks, and she can't have it sitting on a part block. It has to be up to the next block.
I can get on board with that.
But is that I don't care.
I can understand that one as well. No, I'm an even number man. I've not got anything in between that. Like 7, I wouldn't do 7. You know, I got a telly going on at 7 anyway, do you? No, it's too low.
So what's the point in 7? Why is it a function on your?
Why is it there? I don't know.
Well, so I would have it as.
It's got to go from 0 to somewhere, though, hasn't it?
Aye.
So but why? Why not start? Why not start?
Well, what's the point? What's the point of 10 mil an hour? Like, you've got to go through it to get to what you want.
Could you imagine cars that just as soon as you turn the ignition, boom, you're up.
Boom. Fuck it, we're away. Alistair Taylor said, who's the bigger tool, Nielsen or Levine? It's a fucking tough one to call.
I
actually quite like Craig Levine on the radio. I think he's all right on the radio. Now he's not got the job. I think he's maybe all right when he's not got the job. So I'm going to go see Nielsen. Speaking
of Nielsen, right, and again, they're no totally comparable things, right? Last night, so Derby 0-0 at Tynecastle. Hibs players go to get a wee clap to the Hibs fans who get a wee clap back. Nielsen's like, fucking look at the difference in mentality. We're gutted that we never won, and they're celebrating with their fans the draw. Hearts players last night got beat 3-0. What did they do? Went away down to the way end, fucking giving them a big clap. The fans there were giving them a big clap as well. I was going, fucking hell, look at the difference in mentality here. We've scudded them 3-0. We're thinking we could have scored more, and they're fucking celebrating a 3-0 defeat.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video of what looks like a Hearts fan in the Hibs end looking to go fighting with folk in the Hearts end last night?
That was weird, eh?
Is that what that was? I seen there was a wee bit of a kerfuffle at the bottom, but I just thought it was wee laddies being daft.
Boys, boys old enough to come better, eh? To jump to the stand.
Aye, Hearts that.
Alistair Taylor says Madras or Jalfrezi.
I like a Jalfrezi. They too.
What's the difference? What's in a Madras? What's in a Jalfrezi?
Again, just kind of like the Jalfrezi better.
They look quite similar, I'm sure. I think one's spicier than the other. I'm not sure which one's which way round. I quite like different curries. I'll go and try most of them. Do you like a really hot curry, or do you have a limit on it?
There's a limit. Aye, I like a bit of heat, but aye, there's definitely a level where it's just this is unpleasant.
You get a garlic chili, like a curry, which is nice. That's got a good kick to it.
I quite like it. I didn't mind it being hot, but I don't like it when it's like a dry heat. Does that make sense? Like you get other sauces that've got a bit more juice about it, but it still is hot. We were in a place in Musselburgh before lockdown, like so ages ago. But like my mate Jason got the vindaloo and was like, "Oh, I'm eating a fucking vindaloo again." And I got one that was just as hot or hotter, but his one tasted just dry, and it was just like because you're eating a vindaloo, you think you're sort of
the pinnacle.
I'm eating a vindaloo, aye, and I was like, that's shit. It's just crap. Whereas the one, it was like a house special or something. It was a bit, had more sauce in it. Jalfrezi's hotter than Madras.
There you go. Thai food is good, but they spice food really good. It could be fucking spicy as anything, but just amazing at the same time. Thai food's my favourite spicy food. Have you know?
Once or twice, that's all. Aye, that's all. It was good when I had it. But
we should go.
Give you any? Yeah, we were going to before lockdown.
All right, enough. I would. Was it Bruno going to go for India? No, or was it Chow Fry? We booked into. Aye, it was the Thai. I think we'd initially looked. Was it the Shoom or something? It's called. We'd initially looked at that, and then we said, "No, let's try Chow Fry," and then ended up not going because of fucking lockdown. Well, we should do it then.
Celtic semi-final was.
Oh, that's right enough. So it was. We went to that instead. That was a fucking disappointment. We would have been better with the food. Right, Andrew says, now we've got an H block in the East Stand. Do you think there'll be a dirty protest next time we lose at home?
Did you ever watch that? Did you watch that when it was on?
Prisoner.
You must have.
Prisoner.
Aye, Prisoner.
I know what it is.
They've remade it as well.
Have they?
Like, it's called Wentworth, because my daughter and my wife have watched it. It's on, it's on Prime, I think, but it was on Channel 5 or 4. I think 5. I'll go with 5.
Was it B?
and they
Was that the
remade it.
name of the woman?
Aye,
in
but
it?
she
B?
was in it, but not
Aye.
that B. Kind of like a new B, but so they still had the same characters, like Lizzie and that, kind of like the old dear, and I can't remember. That's the only two I remember now. But the prison warden names in that. It was the same names in that.
Aye.
Different storylines and modernised, and when they shut the cell door, the whole fucking thing didn't shake. Like it prisoner cell block H.
I was never really got into it. I did watch it now when Warren used to watch it a lot, and then you would feel like you should watch it to join in.
And watch it.
Aye.
Recorded used to be on late. Sorry, of course. It was on about 11:30 on a Monday night.
Aye, it was on late. Listen, it didn't really want being on that late. Like, it was nothing grown up about it. Could have had that one much earlier. Aye,
just because it was shite to put on.
Because it's shite. Aye. Right, Ewan Wilson says, after Bruno Fernandes' apology, what's the most half-arsed or non-genuine apology you've ever gave? What for?
Oh, that's a great question.
There is a great way of apologising for things where actually you sort of apologise, but you word it in a way that makes the other person feel like a total cunt for whatever it is that they feel that you've had to apologise for. Those are my favourite apologies. I can't think of like an example, but they definitely have a knack of sort of saying, I'm sorry I did this thing that made you feel like blah, 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 blah. And then you can make it sound ridiculous. You can say like, what I did
kind of like
there.
belittle their feelings.
But it's like you sort of say, like, I totally accept responsibility, but you kind of word it that what you've done is really insignificant. Their reaction to it has been fucking ridiculous, because that's normally the case as well. Things like that.
I'm really sorry you overreacted in that way. Something like that.
Something like that. Aye.
I'm to try. Think
the Fernandes apology. What were you thinking, John? We'll talk about the Fernandes apologies. Do you see it on Twitter? It's like one of these ones where they've had to put a photo on of what they've written because it's too much to fit in a tweet. And it was this big bit about fucking kind of really sorry, I didn't mean to miss the penalty and blah blah blah. And it's like, you've missed the penalty, mate. It's no like you've no fucking you've no shot somebody or kid.
Was Ronaldo on the pitch when he took the penalty?
Aye. Well, this is the thing. The keeper. Do you know? See, the keeper was at him saying, "Get to Ronaldo. Get him the penalty." The keeper's at him. Get about Ronaldo. You're going to miss it. Get to Ronaldo. Give it. And then obviously didn't get Ronaldo the penalty.
Brilliant.
That's proper trolling, eh?
That is excellent.
It's a level up for drinking
a
water.
bottle of water. Definitely. Right. That is excellent.
Because you can't. There's like no bad outcome. Because imagine even if he'd gone, oh fuck it, he's messed with my head. Ronaldo, you have the ball. Ronaldo's there taking it, going, fuck's he want me to take it for? And then you messed with his head as well. So,
that's brilliant.
Aye, but I did it. It was like, you missed a penalty, mate. You didn't need to go this big, massive fucking apology for it.
I suppose what's next? Like, you misplaced a pass.
Aye,
like that. Or you're through 1-on-1 with the keeper.
Aye. Right. Did you think an apology that you've given it, you've not?
The thing is, I've been in bother a lot. I say a lot, like I've pissed off parents, managers, colleagues, and I've probably had to apologise at some point. But aye, I've not got a funny one that I can think of.
I just like when the wife goes off on one, I'll just do something to get back in the good books again. Didn't really mean it. I hope she doesn't listen to us.
Sorry if you have listened, we're sorry for saying that.
They made me. I
made you. Andy said, should James Bond villains be a bit more prepared now that it's like the 15th film? Surely, if you're seeing a fancy car driving that fast, you'd have a couple of lookouts warning you that something dodgy is going on.
Aye. He's hardly, without the mess that he makes, the insurance bills that are as a result of James Bond blowing up cars, smashing buildings, whatever. Secret is doing a lot of heavy lifting and Secret Service Agent.
Aye. He's not very
You've got to
conspicuous,
wonder.
is he?
No, I was gonna say, he's not exactly the greatest spy, eh? I mean, look at the Russians that came over here and done the boys in with the poison and that. They're in, out, poison, fucked off.
Sightseers.
Again,
Sightseers.
Aye.
Oh, aye.
aye, but they've done it. They got away with it.
Aye.
They're away and they're back to their country. Bond's in, fucking blowing things up, jumping over buildings and destroying stuff. I mean, it's just how is the boy made a career out of it?
Where do you stand on the issue Bond being female or black or gay or Joe? This is like the discussions about should there be a black Bond and stuff. Do you think? Well, what are your views on it?
I don't care. I don't care enough. But then I don't know. Did just change the name like to Jane Bond then? You know what I
Create a
mean?
new
Like,
character.
Aye, new character rather than the same. Aye, yeah.
That was my take on it. It's like you've got a character that's defined and set up, and somebody's written that character as that character. If you want them, there's none stopping you saying we could have a black super spy like James Bond, but no James Bond. He could be Ken Davy Bond. It could be like a long lost
James
brother
Bond,
or
James
whatever.
Bond's son.
The only
Checking
thing
that film in now, they must have sons that are in the game.
Aye.
the only thing that makes James Bond the franchise that it is because it's James Bond, like the character, and the fact that he works for, is it MI5?
One
There's
of
British
them.
government and there's bad guys. That's about it.
MI6.
So the MI5, MI6, whichever one it is.
Or 4.
You
No,
can kill off.
five's the Home Office, 6 is the Foreign Office. Eh?
Right, okay.
Or 7.
So
I just like to get facts. Just like to get facts.
so it can be James Bond, it can be whatever that you want to call it. It doesn't even have to be called James Bond. The character doesn't have to be called James Bond. It can be exactly the same film called anything else with any actor. But it's utterly irrelevant whether it's
They've
like
done
you
that
said,
with the
a
Bourne
James Bond or
Identity.
whatever.
Aye. Just Bourne done the same thing.
Well, they've done it with the franchise, the Marvel franchise. They just had loads of old fucking characters coming out and just
Aye.
like, it's all Marvel. So we've got James Bond, but it's fucking Jane and whatever, somebody else.
There was a Bourne film that had the guy for the Hurt Locker in it, but I don't think he was Jason Bourne. It was just like a continuation of the Bourne franchise. But there's been different actors have played different characters within the same Marvel universe, which is a bit fucked up.
Right, Fattest Prickus says, did the pull-out method originate in Exeter? That's Exeter. Very clever. They call that getting off at Haymarket, don't they?
Aye, as I learned on Shortbangers a wee while ago.
Did you not? I remember that one. It's mad that you didn't know that, eh?
I hadn't heard of it before.
Always keep that.
Is that
That's how he's got a baby in that now, eh?
Aye. We're all the way to Waverley. Is it only Edinburgh folk that say getting off at Haymarket? Is there an equivalent one like you getting off at King's Cross or
Getting off at Drumchapel?
aye? I think or other stations are anyway. Pullman. Right, Alistair Taylor says, what's worse when you're dying for a jobby and you have to use a public toilet? Is it the smell still lingering from the previous jobster or the seat still being warm?
The smell.
He's obviously
worse.
not thinking of a ScotRail train toilet when he's asked that question. Because they are, without a doubt, the worst toilets in the world. You know, they actually should have done that in Trainspot. You know how it's got like
the worst
Brennan
toilet in
goes with
Scotland.
the bookies, the worst toilet in Scotland. It should open that and it should be into a ScotRail train compartment. Just pish swimming about the floor, bog roll everywhere, tap still running, no paper towels anywhere.
And no idea if the door's going to open or not.
Aye, the door's kind of stuck half open. Folk are poking their head round like, you finished yet?
You finished it. So I'm trying to read the
I'm
paper.
trying to give myself a blowjob.
It's one of the worst. If you get caught short and need to go for a shite in a public toilet, it's like one of the worst things. So you just don't want to be doing that if you
I
can
actually
avoid it.
didn't have that much a hang up about it. I usually just like I'll normally just give any toilet that's not my own just a quick wipe down of the seat with a bit of bog roll and sit down and go for it.
The thing is, you normally with folk though, kind of this is like I don't spend a lot of time kicking about on my own. So if that happens, you're like, I need to go to the toilet, and I'm never that quick. If it's twos, like it's sometimes sometimes you can go in and just can but then you're like they're all hanging about waiting outside. Go for an ice cream or something, or find something to occupy
You
yourself.
start getting jobby paranoia, like they're thinking about me having a jobby right now.
Everybody knows what you're doing. It's like you come out, you're like, you're for a shite. But your eye have it because it was like when you went away. It's fucking sunset now.
You ever had a shite at the football?
Aye. The Derby shite's gone. Like I've been in and be like, I'm gonna have to go before the game starts, and that's even worse having to go at the football. By the way, Easter Road's not a place where you want to have a shite.
I got in touch
I was
with
in for a piss the other day. It was stinking. I thought, holy fuck! Like, what the fuck has he dropped off in there? Fuck me! You know, it was brutal. Imagine following that.
Aye. Well, I've told you the story about when I was in Prague, like the stag, and we're waiting on the taxi coming to take us home after day 3. And so we'd been kicked out of the hotel, kept all our baggage. They said you can wait in the lobby till the taxi comes out, but it was later in the flight wasn't until the evening. So we're kicking about the hotel all day, hanging. And you know, when you get 3 days worth and you're like, I'm going to have to, like, I had no choice, I had to go. And the toilet was literally one of these ones, it's like there's a sink on the side of the wall. The toilet that was so close to it, you were sitting, your arms hitting the sink, and then the door, right? So there was no room, and there's no ventilation, and like empty out. Even I was like, it nearly made me book, right? You know, it was like, fucking hell. Anyway, finished, right? Right, my arse, flush the toilet. I was like, open the door, there's this wee Chinese guy waiting to go in. And
oh no.
I mean,
enjoy it.
The colour just drained from his face, kid. And what do you say? I was all right, and then fucked off. And I was like, he's good. And you hear him when he went, he went, ooh, ooh. I was like, I'm gonna have to, because we were still waiting for the car to come and everything. So I had to like sit waiting for the poor bugger to come out, and he's gonna have to walk past me, and we all came, what's happened here?
I wonder what it is in Mandarin for. I'd give that 20 minutes if I was you.
I still think about that guy from time to time. Just
I wonder if he's doing a podcast somewhere talking about the time that he was in Prague.
My mate Stevie was at the darts in did they go Manchester or something with Alan? It was out for a walk with the night. They'd gone to maybe it was Blackpool. Anyway, they went to the darts, but he did the shit that bad that made him spew. But he was hung over as well, so he'd done that. The smell made him spew. He's obviously, because he's sat in the toilet, he's not been able to kind of go down, and so he stood up to spew at the bath. But it's just done that. It's like shit. Right, so like if that's not bad enough, then Alan's come to see what's happened. He's opened the door and it's like fucking hell, he's thrown up as well.
It's a bad one if you didn't enjoy your own smell though.
Oh
yeah.
Aye, grim. Anyway, Alistair sends in a lot of questions about jobbies and stuff like that, so I hope you enjoyed those stories, Alistair. Ewan Macaulay said, would you rather drink a pint of Martin Boyle's sweat or a pint of Alan McGregor's angry tears?
The tears, because it means he's crying.
Because we
for a
beat
reason,
him.
doesn't it? Yeah.
But what do you think? Do you think he's just got kind of some folk cry when they just get too angry? I'm not upset. I'm too angry. I wonder if that's where his tears would come from. We just got to that point where he's like fucking past rage, just sitting sobbing out of fucking utter fury. Aye,
I still like that. Here, I've just got in a question for the old question. What about the Exeter question? The outer Hebrides? No work. It's better than Westminster, which I was
can't have the outer Hebrides without the inner Hebrides.
Right. Also for you, and would you rather snog a Tory, a Hun, or a Jambo full tongue?
What do they look like?
But tongues are like kind of these dead things that sit in the mouth. But that's
That's
not
not
important
important
just
right
now. Well, I'd definitely have on at least 2 counts there in my younger
I'm
days.
the same. I've never knowingly slapped the gums
You
on a
find
Tory.
it out later, don't you?
Aye. So, well, now knowing what you know about them, and if you knew it in advance, which of the 3 would you? Would any of them stop you doing it? Assuming you weren't married men, right? Obviously, that's the caveat to it.
Depends if he was good looking or not.
It would put you off. Like, I reckon if this is so definitely like, and I can't be trying to be political on the podcast, but if I can't help it, I would struggle with a Tory. Just kind of like how it's no being a Tory isn't an attractive trait, and it would put me off somebody if I can. They're a Tory. I just like, I would struggle with that. Football team, I probably am a bit more willing to accept in most cases because it tends to be where you've been brought up or what your mum and dad can, where you've been taken as a kid and all the rest of it. You've got less choice in that, but you should can be a Tory. Well, I mean, you could choose not to be a Jambo or a Hanley life, but
a lot of folk vote on the way their parents vote as well. Though.
Aye.
So they get the beliefs. So it's not work the same way.
I don't think so because football's not necessarily about your moral choices, is it? Do you know what I mean? Whereas your political beliefs, there's a lot of morality comes into that. Because you could be, because you get a Tory Hibs fan, right? I think they're probably in a minority based on what you read, kind of like for the message boards and things like that, kind of Twitter and what you pick up. Right, I think Hibs are less Tory than Hearts, for example. Maybe that's perception, and definitely less Tory than Rangers.
But they're only voting it. They're voting on religious reasons, though.
Aye. I think, kid, we're just taking a big hole for ourselves here.
I'm not bothered about the Tory
trying to salvage this.
I'm not bothered about it. I'm not bothered about the Tory thing.
You know, are you more bothered about the football team?
I think I am, aye.
All right.
I don't think I've never voted Tory and I did plenty, but it's their choice, yeah. Not bothered.
I can't. But you think why would it be? Then you start to think about what the reasons would be for, and you look at what the Tories are, and you
It's
go,
just a bag off though. It's just a bag off though. Right?
Well, this is other Ken. If you're a few pints in as well, you do stop caring, eh? So
you're asking.
You forgive a lot. You just put it to one side. Fuck, we'll deal with that later. No marrying you.
We'll worry about that in the morning.
Aye. Have you got any cling film? Ewan, I guess, would you eat a burger made in the lab from the cells of Alan McGregor? You'd be a cannibal, or would you be a cannibal if it was human cells? So I quite like that. Right, I like the principle lab-made meat. Right, so if you could have it without slaughtering animals, which deals with this big fucking agricultural problem that meat eating causes, right, the environmental problem. If you could make meat that was as healthy or unhealthy and tasty as actual meat that's been from slaughtered animals, I'm all for that. I think that's a great solution to it. But if it was human cells that we're making it from, is that cannibalism?
I think it probably still is. I don't know if it makes any difference that it's been grown in a lab, because you'd still be eating well, would you?
But it's never been a human, has it? Other than certainly, I suppose it's like how much he is.
What makes us human?
Aye,
is the question. Is it a quarter pounder of Matty, or is it Matty? A quarter pounder of Matty grown in a lab, or is it rump steak?
Aye, because that would still exist. It's like if you're only taking a cell, which is I presume is like a kind of a minuscule part of you that you're not going to miss, and then they were able to grow meat off it.
I'm sure I mentioned it before, but there was another boy in America, an article that I read about a guy who lost his foot, or had to have his foot amputated in a motorcycle accident, and I think he was able to take his foot away with him or something. I don't know how exactly he done it, but he used the flesh and made tacos out of it, and he offered it up to his friends to eat. Some of them did, some of them didn't.
I wouldn't be doing that.
But if it was lab grown, you reckon you'd, or would you get involved if it
Well, I
was
don't know
lab
if
grown?
it was human. I suppose it depends what it tastes like. Hey, this is the other thing, and if it's never been a person and it's just meat, how would you fucking know? Like, it's like when they put horses in
Scientifically-
lasagna. Nobody was sitting with their lasagna going, that's no fucking beef, that's horse. Like, that was found out by accident when they went and tested it.
Aye.
So if human meat grown in a lab didn't taste any different for beef or pork or whatever it was closest to chicken, probably, because that's what they say everything tastes like, how would you ken?
Is that not one of the causes of mad cow disease? Was that cows were eating like the sort of remains of other cows? And I think that's one of the reasons why cannibalism is outlawed, is because the relationship is too close. If you were ingesting human cells, I think you're going to end up making yourself ill.
Aye.
And I think that would probably still be the same if it was grown in a lab.
Aye, it's interesting.
But also, the other question to ask is Alan McGregor human?
That's it. That's how the Hulk happened. Like, the Hulk was kicking about. He inadvertently got exposed to Alan McGregor's cells, and then
McGregor radiation.
Aye,
just absorbed them.
he turned, because it was radioactive. He was in Chernobyl when it happened, or something like that. By the way, should there not been some superheroes come out of Chernobyl? If you were to believe the comics.
Yeah. Well, it's 25. What is it? 25 years ago now?
Aye, I don't think it's going to.
35 years ago.
It would have happened by now if it was going to happen.
Yeah, 25 years ago, they would have been already ruling the world,
Right, last question of the night is from Ewan. Again, says quick fill pints at the Fitball. Good idea or sorcery? And could it work with a Bovril? Colin, you've seen them in action, at the Spurs ground.
Aye. Oh, is that what he's talking about? Sorry, what was the
Quick
question? I missed
quick fill pints.
Oh, the quick fill ones.
Aye.
Aye. I was at the Tottenham just before lockdown for the FA Cup replay match. It was so they do it, fill up for the bottom up.
Aye. How does that work? They've got a false bottom.
I can't remember. We were working. I probably still got WhatsApp kicking about because we were saying the folk. I was doing my work. Came out. I can't remember how they work. We were. Can't remember. Fucking total mind blank, because they just put the pint tumbler on this thing and it fills up for the bottom up. That's it. And I can't remember the mechanism, how it actually gets. It must.
Imagine there'll be like a
not a
widget
false
or something in the bottom of it.
Aye,
No,
would
well,
you-
I can't remember.
There'll be a clever bit of engineering.
I recorded it.
Don't have to
Like
watch
I've
it,
even
YouTube.
got a WhatsApp yet. Like, I've got a WhatsApp video of it somewhere. Because
if you're filling it up
sent to my mates.
for the bottom, you're going to need to have some sort of mechanism to seal the bottom of the tumbler once it's
Aye.
filled up.
I'd need to go and look at the video again because we did work it out that night. I remember standing there on the concourse going, aye, they've done that. And then you're looking at the bottom of your glass and going, I see it's that bit there, but I can't remember.
Could you push it up?
There's like
to
a
the
wee,
bottom of the
like,
glass?
it's like, I think that's what it is. It's like a wee
Could
metal.
this be the thumbnail? Colin's finger.
it's like there's a wee. So you've got your base of the glass, and then in the middle of that, there's like a wee circle, and that pops in, and so when the thing clicks onto it, that pushes that up. And
Aye.
gives it and then that it's like a magnet almost. You know what I mean? And then when they lift it up, that's in that's dropped back in the hole already.
Does it
Pretty sure
taste the
that's
same as an ordinary pint?
Just tasted a pint, just a pint.
Aye.
But it feels obviously it's easier for them to do, rather than.
I think you shouldn't have to like pour it or try and get a heat in it. It's just all it'll be
just
measured mechanically.
Yeah. Some stadium that though.
The Spurs one is smart as
Amazing.
hell. I've not been, but
Absolutely,
it looks brilliant. 150k at Hanlon House is imagine quick fill pies. You get handed a hot pastry casing and you jam its arse over the nozzle of your choice, and hey presto, chili con carne pie, etc.
Be speaking to Alan's Bakery about installing that.
Aye. Right, that's us out of time for the night. We're actually overrunning that one, but there you go. Didn't say we're no good to you. That's us. We're back on Sunday with Quick Bang after hopefully Hibs Scud Rangers, but we'll wait and see what happens there. And then Longbangers on Monday. Still a few tickets left for the live show, so visit our Twitter and get on board with that. We'd love to see you there. And until then, catch you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't